Hello, beautiful people. It is Professor Noel here, and this is the Road to Graduation and Greatness podcast. I am here in Poland. I'm here in Poland. Most conversations were recorded in the United States of America, but I had the opportunity to come to Poznań University of Technology to teach topics like communication, building rapport, interpersonal communication, et cetera, et cetera. And I just finished doing a presentation on persuasive speaking, and afterwards I had a great one-on-one conversation with a lot of different students. And I'm here. Please share your name.
Serhat.
I'm here with Serhat, one of the students that came and we had a conversation, and then we were like, hey, let's do a podcast together. And he is here, and so I appreciate you coming. How are you doing today, man?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. And I'm curious to know, before we jump into the conversation, what was your thoughts on the presentation?
Actually, it was great because communication is the key of to to the life, to talk to people, or like a little pottery. If the road is going to people is hard, it's coming from words, and it also is coming from communication. And it was great because I'm reading lots of books about public speaking, but in the workshop it was a really different experience for me because I saw it some method, I saw it I made some practice, and it gave me a little self-confidence. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And I appreciate that, and I'm glad that your self-confidence is rising, because you should be confident. You should feel like you're on the top of the world all the time. And the reason for that is, not only are you a student, you are a business owner, and you have a business in Turkey where you're from, and you're here studying in Poland, and you also have 2 patents. I don't know if you know, but that's actually amazing. Okay, that's actually amazing, and I want to learn more about your story, and I hope that your story will empower and encourage people listening back home, in my home in the US, but also here around Poland, also in Turkey, and all around the world. So I don't even know where to start, but tell me about your business.
Actually, in the right now, I'm running some business in Turkey. Is one of them is about the tourism, because I live in Kuşadası. Kuşadası is a touristic place in the Turkey, and it's really popular in Ukraine and Russian side. But right now, the Polish people start to come to Kuşadası, and when I was a child, I started my family business, and when I was 16, I take one side of my family job in the hotel side, and I was take all of the responsibility from technical management, and I became a technical manager in my family's hotel.
Yeah.
And when I was 19, I take all of my family business about the construction building, and also in hotel. When I was in Turkey, I was working almost 17 or 18 hours per a day. Every day I was working in this routine, and I didn't have any holiday. 7 days, because I was taking all of the responsibility. I have to check all of the employee. I have to be sure the work is going well.
Yeah.
And I didn't have time for going somewhere or doing something else.
Wow. That's very interesting that you're in the tourism industry. Back in my country, whenever we hear someone go to Turkey, it's for a hair transplant or for them to fix their teeth. So I'm curious to know, because Turkey, as I understand it, they have a very, they call it medical tourism, where people can do procedures at the fraction of a cost than in the US. So your clients in Turkey, are they there for vacation to explore the country, or do you see them there for medical tourism?
In Kuşadası, it's for vacation, but
For
in
vacation,
Istanbul, it's for medicals and others, because in 2019 they created an agency about the medical tourism, and they try to make a lot of advertisement all of the world. They created goturkey.com, and lots of big agency is like a TUI and other companies make advertisement in Europe, because that time the inflation was rise up and Turkey price was really low.
Yeah.
The near competitor was uh, Bulgaria or Romania, but they weren't direct competitor for Turkey, because the Turkey has a really good doctors. Really, they have a really good industry,
Yeah.
and Istanbul is a really big city. It's almost 20 million people live there.
Whoa.
Yeah.
20 million in Istanbul?
Yeah, only Istanbul. Istanbul is biggest city in Europe, I guess, but I'm not sure. To be honest, I'm not sure.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, and that's fascinating. Interestingly enough, like I don't know, it's around 2016, my sister went to Istanbul and she gave a speech on leadership in front of a lot of student leaders in Istanbul, Turkey. I've yet to visit Turkey, but I do hope to one day at your invitation. I might use your company to as I tour the country. And part of the reason why I want to have a focus on this conversation is because I want your story to inspire the people who are listening. I want your story to inspire students, and I want them to know that just because you're a student, that doesn't mean the only thing you should do is study. That you have the ability to study and run a business, that you have the ability to study and work, that it's not an either or situation. Now, of course, we've been talking about rest and paying attention to your mental health, et cetera, which is important. At the same time, there's a lot of people who were raised and they were not raised around money. They were not raised around people who are successful. And in order to succeed, you have to position yourself to succeed. You have to take a risk. And running a business is a risk. There's no guarantee that you're going to get a paycheck from someone else. If you don't work many times, you don't eat. But now there's another layer where proper businesses create systems where you have people working for you, so it runs like a machine on its own. Now, you also have 2 patents. Wow. I don't know if that's just me, but I think that's amazing. So talk to me about your inventions. Like, please blow my mind. Like, talk to me about it.
When I was running my family business, I had the time for I was searching for hobbies, and when I was in high school, I start to look at some engines, some renewable energies, and I joined some clubs. After that, I started reading books about invention, about the history, about the philosophy, and lots of things. And I focused 2 different areas. One of them was philosophy and history. The other side was science. And in the science, I was 17. I make my first product about renewable energy. It was working for with solar, and I the there's some company cooperation in Ankara. They accepted my product. It was working, but it wasn't more efficient because it was the first product.
It was a prototype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I applied for patent. Also, actually, to be honest, if I continued my application, I could take the patent, but I didn't continue because of the Turkey's patent fee is really high, and if you don't use that patent, it's not necessary for taking the patent, because in the patent industry has their own system. For example, in the Turkey, you have to pay money for every year. If you want to protect in Europe, also you have to pay in Europe. If you want to protect in USA, you have to pay in USA.
Wow.
Every time you have to pay more money.
Yeah.
And I tried to create a site about my project. I applied some company. They said we can do it, but they didn't do it. And after a few years, I said I'm doing this. Okay, maybe it can be. It can change the world. It could change the world.
Yeah.
But like, if I cannot do it, how I will change? Or for who I will do it, because
Got it.
every time I'm going somewhere I'm going to government about my project. I'm going to some company, energy company, because they have their own system. If
Yeah.
you cannot go, and you cannot say I will create my energy. I will make this. I will make this, and they didn't help me. And in 2021, I quit everything. I did two projects for application of patent, but I quit all of them because of the fee, and I couldn't continue. But in 2022, one of the association from Ankara, they called me. They said, if you have a time, come here. You can continue your project. We will
Wow,
help
that's
you.
good.
We will give you what you want. And a few months later, they closed that cooperation. It's some political issues, because of some political issues.
Yeah, yeah.
And I continued my family business. After that, I realized I have money, I have everything. I don't have to think about my day, because every day I will work and I have money. I don't have any problem. But I realized I need something else. After that, I came to Poland, and it was the milestone of my life, because in here I have more time, and I can meet new people. I can research about some new things,
Yeah.
and it give me confidence to improve myself. And uh, I stopped to try to change the world.
Yeah.
I start to change myself, because I realize it doesn't matter who I am or what I want. I cannot change the world, but I can change myself. And Rumi say, when I was young, I wanted to change the world. When I became a wise, I changed myself. And I'm changing myself.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite quotes, and I do think your story is inspirational because although you weren't able to do everything you wanted to do, you weren't afraid to do something, and you realized that one of the best worlds to change is the world that's inside of you. And because of that, I believe that you're going to change the worlds of many people. And now your impact, your story is not going to only be here in Europe, but now your story will be told in the United States. And people will listen to that and they're going to say, wow, this gentleman here can start applying for a patent. And if he can be creative, if he can invent, if he can take the steps forward, if he can speak about his stories and struggles and he share it with the world, then I can do something, then I can start. And many times people think the only way for them to be respected is if they have a finished product, is if they have everything all figured out, is if they have all the money in the world already. But in reality, what people want to see is that little spark, is that little flame. And that little flame is enough to change the world. It's enough to change the worlds of individuals. And that's what's most important. So we have a few minutes left. And I'm curious to know, as a student, what do you believe is a skill that someone should have to make a positive change in their own lives?
Communication.
Communication.
Communication is the key of everything. I mean, there's an area about communication, intercultural communication. I mean, they only focus how different, in different backgrounds. Some of them coming from Germany, some of them coming from Turkey, some of them coming from Russia, some of them coming from China. How they will talk, how they will understand each other's, because lots of decision from Europe, they have a union, Europe Union, and everything they decided together. They are talking English, and lots of times when someone's speaking, because English is our not first language, there is a misunderstanding. There's some problem to understand each other, and intercultural communication only focus this area, and we should improve ourselves for communication, for public speaking. Also, public speaking is really important
Mm-hmm.
because if you have an idea, for example, if you cannot think, if you cannot talk, you cannot sell your idea. Or, for example, I can be wise. It doesn't matter how I'm smart. If I cannot talk to you in your language, I mean in English, how you know I'm smart or not? Everything is going from communication.
Yeah.
If we can understand intercultural communication and the importance of the communication, we can do everything in our life.
That's good. That's good. And so you heard it here first. If you want to succeed, one of the biggest and best skills you should have is the skill of communicating. Because regardless of your major, you don't have to be a communications major to understand the importance of communication. You can study engineering, you can study data sciences, you can study IT, you can study theater, whatever the case is, you need to communicate. You need to communicate with your family, you need to communicate with your employer, you need to communicate with your customers, you need to communicate with your colleagues. That is of the utmost importance because that is the one skill that no matter what you do, you can enter through any door. So I thank you so much for listening. I thank you for being a part of this great conversation. I thank you for sharing your
Thank you
heart,
for
sharing
everything.
your mind. This really means a lot, man. And you are truly extremely intelligent. You're hungry. And I know one day that we are going to do an interview again, and it might be in front of a room full of thousands of people. And we'll be talking about your product and your business. And it'll be my honor to interview you again. So thank you so much again.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate
Thank you
it.
very much, everything.
And this is the road to graduation and greatness. Thank you so much for listening. I encourage you to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you across the stage.